The Salah situation just got toxic whilst Villa put Arsenal and the entire Premier League on notice, Messi and his mates conquer MLS, and all the reactions to the World Cup draw. This is DMAC Daily. The bombshell interview that rocked world football. And I'm just gonna say, Salah's got some nerve because the main storyline of this weekend was supposed to be centered around BOTTLEJOB FC spectacularly crumbling, but instead we got a hyper-focus on this calamity. Not ideal, although I must admit the Egyptian King's crash out was pretty crazy, with comments like, "The club has thrown me under the bus. I will be in Anfield to say goodbye to the fans." He also threw shots at Jamie Carragher and revealed that he no longer has a relationship with Arne Slot. I mean, this guy's trying to speedrun his Anfield exit with such loaded statements. It's got shades of CR7's Piers Morgan interview. Like, I don't know if there's a way back here. Now, there have been two schools of thought that have dominated the reaction space to this interview. One, that Salah's ego has gotten out of control and that he's made it all about himself in the midst of a collective crisis, or that two, Salah is fully justified in lashing out, that he's remained prolific throughout his entire Liverpool career, yet results suddenly suffer and now he's the scapegoat. And now, from my perspective, we're going full Xherdan Shaqiri here, full Switzerland, because I do think there's some nuance in both arguments. Like, it's objectively so unprofessional for Salah to lash out at the club's management, the manager, pundits alike, when the entire team is also struggling. The dressing room dynamic becomes all the more polarized in the aftermath. But I think the club and the manager have also really failed to keep things in check here. Salah's clearly got an ego, which is to be expected. He's one of the most accomplished footballers in Liverpool's and the Premier League's history after all. To drop a player of his status without effectively communicating the rationale, I can see why Salah would take that personally. All the while, Liverpool's most popular pundit, Jamie Carragher, is publicly claiming his legs are gone. That's a damning assessment for a player who shattered the Premier League's goal contribution record the previous campaign. So yeah, it's got real toxic real quick. I thought it was inconceivable that he'd leave the club mid-season, especially with AFCON in the equation, but realistically, how do Liverpool reconcile this? It doesn't appear as though they've given up on Slot or that they will anytime soon, so the Saudi escape could unfold sooner than expected. Just quickly on Liverpool's latest result, and it was the story of their season. Ekitike and Szoboszlai showing up whilst everyone else goes missing. Defensively, shambolic. Gotta give props to Farke's lead squad though. They battered Chelsea midweek and then put another 3 past Liverpool. This club has a lot of heart. Speaking of heart, Aston Villa, I'm sorry, I was unfamiliar with your game. 5 match days into the Premier League and they hadn't won a single game, sat in the relegation zone. Yet fast forward to today and they're now 3rd in the table, just 3 points shy of top spot, having defeated first place Arsenal in the most dramatic fashion too. Emi Buendia slotting home the match winner in the 95th minute, limbs galore on the pitch, in the stands, in the dugout. I cannot believe that this Villa team is sat where they are now, especially whilst juggling European football too. Emery keeps on pushing the boundaries of what's possible with this club, restoring their elite status in the English game. All in all, that was pure cinema. Unless you're an Arsenal fan, that is. Just their second defeat of the season, ending an 18-match unbeaten run. But the panic is starting to well and truly keep in. As we know, Arteta's Arsenal have a track record of falling short in the Premier League as the second-place champions for the past 3 straight seasons. This campaign, they've looked far more assured, yet after stumbling to just 2 wins in their last 5 Premier League outings, their lead at the top has diminished. This title race is now alive and well. Some Arsenal fans will lament the sudden injuries and the overall fatigue of the squad, but I'm afraid that excuse will not suffice. Every team has to juggle these same problems. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm low-key worried. In the biggest league games, they've looked really nervy at times. Think Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and now Villa away. Ultimately, I still see Arsenal as heavy favourites to win the league, but imagine the social media reaction if they go on to bottle this once again. In other Premier League outings, we had some absolute madness at the Etihad. Ryan Cherki in flow state against a helpless Sunderland. That Rabona assist for Foden was outrageous. If he can improve his consistency, there are some serious conversations to be had about the Frenchman, because in terms of pure technique, skill, and creativity, he's the complete package. Left foot, right foot, the guy's a wizard. Not gonna lie, he terrifies me. One team that doesn't terrify me though is Chelsea Football Club. 0-0 away at Bournemouth is an injustice to Bournemouth. On another day, Chelsea lose this game 5-0. 90 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Bar Robert Sanchez, everyone else was dreadful. Meanwhile, Everton rise up to 6th in the table with a 3-0 win at home to Forest. Tieno Barry grabbing his first for the club. Just like Xavi Simons for Spurs, a goal and an assist to ease the pressure on Thomas Frank with a big win against his former club Brentford. Bruno Guimaraes scored a stunning Olympico as Newcastle got the better of Burnley, and Crystal Palace entered the top 4 with a massive win away at Fulham. Soon to be free agent Guehi with the late match winner. Just quickly, do yourselves a favor and check out Harry Wilson's goal if you haven't already. Magical stuff. Heading to the Spanish capital, and Real Madrid have suffered a fresh implosion. A humiliating 2-0 home defeat at the hands of Celta Vigo. Super sub Villiers Fedberg with a brace. Madrid ended the clash with 9 men. First, Fran Garcia getting 2 yellows in the space of like 5 seconds before Carreras copped his second yellow laid on for dissent. Whilst Endrick was also shown red while sat on the bench. Bro now has more red cards than goals this season. To make things worse, Eder Militao suffered a fresh injury, so the backline is well and truly a shambles right now. At full time, the boos ringing around the stadium were crazy. Alonso is in big trouble. It doesn't help that Barcelona went 4 points clear at the top with a big win away at Betis. Ferran Torres grabbed the headlines with a hat-trick, but what I found most interesting with this Barca performance was Hansi Flick's decision to play Yamal in the 10 centrally rather than on the right flank. He looked incredible in that role, was at the heart of everything. Bartke also really benefited in this system. The FM merchants have been raving about the kid for years, but the talent is clear as day, scoring his first goal for the club on Saturday. Moving to Germany, and another week, another Harry Kane hat-trick, this time coming off the bench away at Stuttgart. Ridiculous stuff. He's got more than double the division's second highest goal scorer, 31 involvements in 22 games. You've got Diaz and Elise causing havoc on the flanks. Lennart Karl's also showing X-Factor potential. When Musiala comes back, this team is going to be something else. We also saw second place Leipzig hit Eintracht Frankfurt for 6. Jan Diamande, the 19-year-old prodigy with his first career hat-trick. Crazy to think, this kid hasn't even been a pro for a year yet. Diamande was playing high school footy in the US around this same time last year, and is now one of the Bundesliga's best players. He could be the future of African football. His speed and dribbling is just special. Playing in that right wing role, it reminds me of when Doué really came to life at PSG. Perhaps less skillful than the Frenchman, but Diamande is so direct and so dangerous. 9 goal involvements in his last 6 Bundesliga outings. Crazy talented. We also saw another Bundesliga wunderkind step up this weekend in Croatia's Luka Vuskovic, with the centre-back scoring a Zlatan-esque scorpion goal for Hamburg. Thiago would have been loving that one, no doubt, as his club earned back-to-back league wins. Elsewhere in Europe, Rasmus Højlund's double sent Napoli to the top of the Serie in a massive 2-1 win over Juventus, whilst Inter destroyed Como to go just 1 point behind. And in French football, Lens remain top of Ligue 1 with a win away at Nantes. They haven't won a league title since 1998, so I still fully expect PSG to catch up in due time, but a unique storyline to keep an eye out for nonetheless. Moving to the US, and Messi has officially conquered MLS, defeating Thomas Muller's Vancouver in the MLS Cup final, winning his 47th trophy, becoming the most decorated footballer of all time, and picking up the MVP award too. 38 goals, 28 assists in 34 MLS games in 2025. He's having fun out there alongside some of his best mates. A fitting way for Busquets and Jordi Alba to close out their illustrious careers. Alba's last kick of a football was to who else but Messi, who then set up the 3rd goal. Poetic stuff. It's the end of an era for 2 of the game's greats. Will Suarez join them? Only time will tell. And staying on the topic of former Barca players, Neymar has officially saved Santos from relegation following a dramatic matchday 38 win over Gremio, which sees them rise up to 12th place and clinch Copa Sudamericana qualification. Relief for the Brazilian icon. And to close out today's episode, I gotta quickly run through Friday's World Cup draw. Beyond the abomination of cringe that it was, the groups themselves are genuinely fascinating. Where else can you start other than Group A? The football gods absolutely cooked with Mexico drawing South Africa. The tournament opener, just like it was in 2010, the nostalgia is crazy. I say in 2026, make Vuvuzelas great again. Bring them back. Bring the Jabulani back while we're at it. All the host nations, I'd argue, got draws that were fairly promising, although in typical US media fashion, they celebrated their group opponents being unveiled like they'd automatically qualified for the next round. Would love nothing more now than to see USA get grouped. That would be chef's kiss, especially if my country, Australia, were to have a major role in doing so. One thing that is very noticeable about the expanded 48-team World Cup is that the heavy hitters are more spaced out, but there are still some notable groups of death, if you will. The one that I was immediately drawn to was Group I: France, Senegal, Norway, and the FIFA Playoff 2 nations. Senegal and Norway are capable of mixing it with the world's best. They've both got fantastic generations. Also Haaland v Mbappe, that's going to be some spectacle. Group F could be interesting. The Netherlands are always a menacing nation to face. Japan will be looking to reach new heights this tournament, and Tunisia qualified having conceded 0 goals. Group C is another big one. Brazil will also be heavyweights, drawn alongside semi-finalist Morocco. You've also got Scotland in the mix. The world's best footballer, McTominay, is surely going to deliver next year. Now, some people have been criticizing the group stages, saying that there's not enough big games there, but I personally think all 12 groups have some compelling storylines on offer. Also, imagine if Argentina and Portugal top their groups and win their round of 32 matchup. Messi v Ronaldo could be in store in the round of 16. That last dance matchup would bring the entire world to a standstill. Anyways, guys, that's all for today's DMAC Daily, and I'll catch you tomorrow.